When he was here, I know it. I couldn't have dreamed it.
Yes, Paula, you dreamed it. You dreamed all day long.
Are you telling me that I've dreamed?
Everything, Paula.
All that happened.
All that did not happen.
Then it's true. My mind is going.
Haven't I told you, Paula?
It was a dream.
Like all the rest.
Then take me away. I can't
Yes,
fight
Paula,
it anymore. It was a dream.
Was I any part of this curious dream of yours, Mrs. Anton? Perhaps my presence here might help you to recall it.
Who the devil are you?
Apparently a mere figment of your wife's imagination.
Fusebox. Okay, this is Fusebox number 129. Gaslit. And you are lying through your bright orange teeth.
Yes, and laughing all the way to the big house. A gracious good day to you, friends. This is indeed Fusebox number 129, nefariously entitled Gaslit. And we'll get into all that in a moment, I promise. But welcome in. I'm your not really here, I'm just a voice in your head host, Mark Rose, and thanks so very much for pushing play on this edition of the show. And I want to mention right off that we will have the winner in our Name That Drank contest, a contest where stop pointing at yourself. Yes, you could have entered this here thing and had a chance to win a fabulous Fusebox church flask just for coming up with the best name for our pal Milt's drink, and that's coming up, so stay with us for that. I promise you won't be disappointed. And over there, awash in the glow of his own lit gas, the grand arbiter of acoustics, Milt Keynes, everybody.
Thank you kindly.
So, seriously, how do we sound? Better? We're certainly more up to date. Maybe a tad zippier too, huh?
Did you get into those magic mushrooms again, did you?
Not a one, Mr. Keynes. But as I mentioned on a show or two back, we've been in the process over here of updating the studio computer, and we have accomplished that, as it turns out, with a new Mac Pro.
Well, a new old Mac Pro.
Indeed. We've updated the prior 2008 quad-core version to the now officially beastly 2009 12-core version of the famous cheese grater style, as it was called back then, with a whopping 64 gigabytes of RAM in there. How about that, huh? Certainly was whopping at the time, as the old one, although working perfectly, of course, had reached the end of its compatibility with recent software and hardware innovations, and as a result, we were compelled, forced, to make this change, just to ensure that everything can be updated appropriately going forward from here.
Yeah, until they make another goddamn change and force you to upgrade again.
Well, it seems that their big innovations in firmware, and that's certainly what affected us here, comes about every 2 to 5 years. So, hopefully we can sail along here for a while before having to sell yet another body part to do the upgrade.
Yeah, and you're running out of parts.
Certainly negotiable ones. Mm-hmm. The current Mac Pro coming out in late October, I think starts at about $6,000.
Such a deal. Do they have them in 6-packs?
Pricey. Yeah. Again, these boxes are, they're designed for very high-end applications and, more importantly, very high-end customers, it would appear. for me, it would be great if they just sold like a bare bones version that we, the end user, could load with whatever we wanted, whenever we want.
Well, they say that's what this is.
Yeah, no. I mean, the entry-level box has less going on that than a mid-level iMac, in terms of standard features. Oh, of course, there's way more potential, of course. But that will cost you bucks. I just wish they wouldn't penalize the users here, Not everyone is working for Disney.
Yet?
Yes, we may all be working for the machine soon. I can feel the stretch of Mickey's tentacles as we sit here. So, are you liking the Emperor's new clothes? The ones that aren't there? And please move along. There seriously is nothing to see here.
Yeah, I'm loving it for sure, bro. I mean, at this point, 1 + 1 definitely equals aardvark.
Oh, for sure and for true. I don't think, I've never seen such a patent disregard for reality.
Well, it just gives you a clue as to how unreal life gets when you answer to nobody.
The good news is, Mr. Keynes, he does have to ultimately answer to somebody. So, friends, in case you are scratching your heads and wondering just what the hell are they all on about over there.
Hey, what are you talking about? We haven't said anything yet. As a matter of fact, this show hasn't even started, and you don't even know where you are.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the Gaslight Express, friends. Can you smell that smell? Yeah, that's the smell of deception and fear. So in recent days, in our country here, of the grand and glorious United Snakes of America, a term that was taken from, at first, a successful play written by Patrick Hamilton called Angel Street, originally anyway, was later filmed as Gaslight by 2 directors, actually, in about a 4-year span there. In 1940, directed by Thorold Dickinson, and again in 1944, directed by the grand George Cukor. It involves a story of a woman whose husband, a sneaky and just a little nefarious on the side criminal type, endeavors to drive his wife crazy through a cunning series of events that ultimately have some very interesting, some might even posit poetic outcomes.
Oh, I definitely would posit that.
Oh, yes, for sure, because you're just a posit freely kind of guy, Mr. Keynes. Well, this term for deceiving and conspiring has been applied to the political machinations currently on display in this country, in full view of everybody.
It ain't pretty, and it's arrogant as fuck, too.
Does have that air about it, Mr. Keynes. And here's the thing. There have been countless times when evidence is refuted, dismissed even, without any proof being presented to the contrary. It's just, well, it's this.
I think Mueller did a good job for the country and there was nothing there. I think this whole thing is a sham. I can't believe we're talking about impeaching the president based on an accusation based on hearsay.
Yeah, nothing to see here. It's all fake news or conspiracies, and hell, friends, nobody loves a conspiracy more than, well, Milt, probably.
True that.
Well, I just sit slack-jawed at these things, wondering if I've fallen into some weird dream state, and perhaps I just missed the part where they say, yeah, we did that. Because we have footage and paper trail evidence showing you did indeed just do that thing that you claim not only you didn't do, but it never actually happened.
Gaslit.
Precisely, Mr. Keynes. Well, we'll dig a bit deeper into this stunctious aroma in a moment.
The show for everybody, but not everybody will like it.
Fusebox.
Do you think it'd take your mind off things if Blackstone showed us a trick?
Well, how about a bit of hypnotism, Alan? Who's to be the victim? You are. Right. Now, look straight in my eyes. Sideways. That's a cinch.
It isn't as easy as you think, Alan.
It isn't?
Mm-mm.
Just watch. All right. What do I do now? And I'm not hypnotized.
That's right, Alan.
Then you give up? Certainly do.
Well, just try to look into my eyes.
One on top of the other. I wouldn't have a chance.
That's right.
Well, for once, you're right, Alan. I hope you like that trick, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, goodbye.
The always wonderful F.LeMur right there, friends. Goes hand in hand with our topic du jour as well. We were talking about this phenomena known as gaslighting, where evil doings are made to disappear right in front of your eyes, as if by magic.
The magic of bullshit.
Yes, the Odiferous trail of a Poot-Caster. As we were discussing at the top of the show, in this country at present, the orange guy, some refer to him as the president.
Nope.
Permanent denial. In recent days, some activities involving a president of a foreign country and a prime minister of another, and
Ukraine and Australia, and don't forget China, to be exact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, in recent days, the orange guy has been reported to have had conversations of a nature that would lead one to believe that he was trying to influence the results of the next election by, at least in one case, asking the president of Ukraine to dig up dirt on Vice President Joe Biden and his son, Hunter, who was evidently on the board of directors of a company in that part of the world. Oh, and by the way, this deal with Hunter Biden and this company has been reported on since about 2014 and is actually the exact opposite story claimed by some folks in the Orange House.
Well, wasn't the whole thing about corruption in that company and that VP Biden sent in investigators to kind of uncover the mess or something?
Yeah, well, sort of. Biden served on the board of Burisma Holdings. I guess that's a major Ukrainian natural gas producer from 2014 to 2019. In 2019, Orange Guy claimed that Joe Biden had sought the dismissal of a Ukrainian prosecutor in order to protect his son Hunter, although extensive press reporting and the Ukrainian government have found no evidence to support the claim. Also, the investigation into Burisma only pertained to events happening before Hunter Biden joined the company. And again, there was no other evidence produced of wrongdoing by the Bidens. As I heard it, the previous prosecutor was let go because he was evidently not digging deep enough for Joe, and so therefore sought another person to carry on. Like I say, this was all reported on in Intercept and countless other outlets years ago, and you can see the trail that the reporter followed and what came about there.
Well, we can see what came about, all right. Impeachment investigations.
Yeah, and this is what I want to say. As we see these stories develop, there is gaslighting going on, folks, with the delicious acts of sleight of hand. Like this, for starters.
Well, we're trying to find out about a whistleblower. When you have a whistleblower that reports things that were incorrect, as you know, and you probably now have figured it out, the statement I made to the president of Ukraine, a good man, a nice man, was perfect. It was perfect. But the whistleblower reported a totally different statement, like the statement, it was not even made. I guess statement you could say with call. I made a call. The call was perfect. When the whistleblower reported it, he made it sound terrible. And then you had Adam Schiff, who, even worse, made up my words, which I think is just a horrible, I've never even seen a thing like that. Adam Schiff, representative, congressman, made up what I said. He actually took words and made it up. The reason is when he saw my call to the president of Ukraine, it was so good that he couldn't quote from it because there was nothing done wrong. It was perfect. So Adam Schiff decided, I can't let this happen. So let me make up. Do you ever hear of this one, Gene? Do you ever hear of anything like this? So Adam Schiff made up a phony call, and he read it to Congress, and he read it to the people of the United States. And it's a disgrace. This whole thing is a disgrace. There's been tremendous corruption, and we're seeking it. It's called Drain the Swamp. There's been corruption on the other side. There's been corruption like you've never seen. Now, the new president of Ukraine ran on the basis of no corruption. That's how he got elected. And I believe that he really means it. But there was a lot of corruption having to do with the 2016 election against us. And we want to get to the bottom of it, and it's very important that we do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and a few days before, he was calling for the guy to be shot.
Indeed, yeah. He remarked at a meeting of, I guess they were civil service workers, by the way, right? Folks just like the person who blew the aforementioned whistle. Yeah, that in the good old days, they handled folks like this quite differently. Folks like this person, who was clearly a spy in Orange Guy's view.
I want to know who's the person that gave the whistleblower, who's the person that gave the whistleblower the information? Because that's close to a spy. You know what we used to do in the old days when we were smart, right? With spies and treason, right? We used to handle it a little differently than we do now.
I swear, man, I think he just called for a hit to be placed on that person.
No, it's been said before. He's talking like a gangster. Now remember, even the White House has agreed that the process followed and information released in that memo / transcript, not really, was done correctly and used the proper methods and channels, and it didn't spring, okay, from somebody's third nostril, unlike many of the theories that Orange Guy takes as truth these days. It does serve to gloriously illustrate the weird paranoia and very Kane Mutiny-esque atmosphere around this administration, if it does nothing else.
Yeah, and you can check out Fusebox number 127, Psycho Relic Con Job, about that whole Kane Mutiny thing.
Yes, you can. I mean, in just the past few days, the amount of stuff pouring out about the shenanigans going on here is positively mind-blowing. It actually risks having an opposite effect.
What do you mean?
Well, that with all these connections and situations and backdoor deals, and which, to be absolutely honest, this technique, the off-the-record, behind closed doors kind of thing, this is not new. It's been going on forever. But these latest things have nothing to do with maintaining the security of the U.S. or enriching the lives of its citizens. It's to forward the ambitions of the Orange Guy through extortion and bullying in some regards.
Yeah, a lot of that. People seem to fear this guy that work with him. At least that's what I hear.
Well, when you start calling for a whistleblower to be, for all intents and purposes, killed for telling the truth, and, we got us a dictatorship, not a democracy. So I'm concerned that we're going to be a little dazzled and razzled and lose sight of the purpose here, which, of course, is to get this guy out of office with all due haste.
So you got Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, flying around the world acting as a sort of a presidential bag man for Trump and trying to dig up shit on Biden. And then, then there's A.G. Barr acting as a kind of flack catcher, right? Trying to sidetrack Congress by putting on the brakes to any procedures going forward.
And you have Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who at first, as you recall, wasn't mentioned at all in this Ukraine call fiasco. But wait,
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that President Trump pressed the president of Ukraine 8 times to work with Rudy Giuliani to investigate Joe Biden's son. What do you know about those conversations?
So you just gave me a report about a high-seek whistleblower campaign, none of which I've seen.
Are you confident that none of your staff, that you or none of your staff did anything improper in this whole situation?
To the best of my knowledge, from what I've seen so far, each of the actions that were undertaken by State Department officials was entirely appropriate.
Yes, no, that is right, not right. I am now, not now, leaving the building, staying right here. I never said that. Said that.
So he was listening in the whole time.
Right there, right then. One thing you see for certain is that when you have nothing to back up your defense, you call out the process, right? Another thing that's being done over and over and over and over again is this hide in plain sight tactic. I thought at first that it was just sloppy tactics. You know, someone wasn't dotting the I's and crossing the T's, that kind of thing. Then it became clear that they just really didn't care. Like, no one would call them out because it's just too incredulous. Who would actually do something like, well, you know, pick your favorite one, fill in the blank.
Yeah, it's just arrogant.
Well, and you'll appreciate this, Mr. Keynes, because it applies to the question that is often asked folks when they suggest a conspiracy theory like chemtrails or
moon landings.
or moon landings. The question always comes up: how could you keep it a secret? And that is a very fair question. Now, as a buddy of mine who is an attorney once told me about this type of question, was that he referred to it as the law of credulity.
Do I need to take notes here or something?
Maybe. So it goes like this. A small lie, or a comparatively small one, will actually be the easiest to find out. Some method or process will bring that to light. A big lie, on the other hand, almost always goes cold because of this, quote, law of credulity. No one would possibly believe that an intelligence agency would be used to kill a president, or that some inner workings were to blame for bringing down buildings in New York. Too hard to accept for many, really. Just can't. Doesn't make it false, though, right? It still could be true.
Wait, so are you saying that Adolf Trump here is actually right? And everybody's against him?
Well, only partially. They're against him, all right, because he's a big lie. And we'll just have to see how powerful the will of the Congress and the will of the people actually are here. But for absolute certainty is the throw them all under the bus strategy he seems to be using right now.
I think you should ask for VP Pence's conversation, because he had a couple of conversations also. I could save you a lot of time. They were all perfect.
Yep, perfectly screwed.
Can you imagine the look on the VP's face when he heard that little nugget?
He may have choked on his corn fritter right then. And here's the other thing. He, the vice president, he said openly already that he has indeed spoken to the Ukrainian president, but had no idea that there were plans afoot.
Yeah, Adolf keeps him in the dark pretty much. Or maybe in a cave, I don't know.
So, being the benefit of the doubt kind of guy I am, and in the spirit of reporting things that are at least based in some evidentiary process, I thought I'd give Fox News a spin, just to see.
Holy carp, man. Braver than me.
Well, as an experiment, I just wanted to see their perspective. I don't watch this typically, and just give them a chance to illustrate their editorial slant, okay? With what evidence, other than just saying it's a hoax or a conspiracy, what actual evidence is there to support that some of these claims are just partisan machinations and political maneuvering?
So how'd that work out for you?
Clown car. No, I really wanted to hear another perspective. Seriously. But all I got was an odd sort of defensive rhetoric that started to sound like absolutely everybody there had a nice glass of psilocybin tea beforehand and were enjoying a kind of Paisley Carnival ride. Now, I know, because lately I've been watching a lot of it. The other side of the aisle has a bias as well. We know that. And they can be just as fanciful at times.
Yeah, but not like those cats, man. I mean, from what I've heard, and as you know, I'm not as brave as you to actually watch anything on that network, but from what I've read and what I've been told, it's almost like performance art over there.
Well, I think art is stretching it a bit, but okay.
You know, and I know I shouldn't go here.
Never stopped you before, Mr. Keynes.
Well, I know, but hell, man, some of those folks, they just look just plain crazy. Like when you see their mugs in a freeze frame or something. I mean, they're just nuts.
Yeah, kind of wide-eyed and so forth. Yeah, I get it. You know, I've said it before on this program that oftentimes I find the best source of unbiased news, at least about the U.S., seems to be coming from the BBC lately.
Yeah, they got their hands full too, it seems.
Oh, yeah. It's just a good thing that Spitting Image is coming back. It just could not be better timed.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. That's that puppet show or something from the UK, right?
Oh, buddy. This was a great show. It was on in the mid 1980s. I think 84 maybe. I think that was the first run, 84. And it featured puppets that were caricatures of famous celebrities designed by very talented couple of guys, Peter Fluck and Roger Law. And most importantly, they created extremely funny versions of world leaders like Ronald Reagan at the time and Margaret Thatcher. They were infamous. And it was a seriously raunchy kind of satire for the time. Thing ran for about 4 years and really did. It carved quite a path.
So they're doing it again, huh?
Yeah, that's the rumble I hear. And it appears that it will debut on the BBC later in the year. And I cannot wait to see what they have done to the orange guy. 'Cause you know they did something grand.
Can it involve tire irons and maybe a car crusher?
One can only dream.
Watch for the outcome at the end of the next act.
TheFuseboxShow.com.
And now, with or without further ado...
So what's an ado, anyway?
Huh? Ado? Well, it's...
Yeah, man, ado. I mean, is that even a real word or what?
Why, yes, Mr. Keynes, it's a real word. It means, I think what it refers to...
Fuck it, bro. Let's just do this. Milt's got a thirst.
Oh, I see. You want to celebrate the occasion, huh? Perhaps toast the winner?
Huh? Oh, fuck no, bro. I mean, sure, yeah, whatever. Actually, I just want to see if this thing tastes any different now that it has a real name. Call it an experiment.
I still call it a cry for help.
Yeah. Whatever, man. You know, you were sure singing a different tune the night we shot that promo, amigo. Who knew you were such an Elton John fan?
Okay. I admit, Yoo-Hoo and vodka isn't half bad.
Well, it's not half good either, but it sure gets the job done, though.
And on that note, Mr. Keynes, you has an announcement, does you not?
Yeah, I does indeed. Well, first of all, we want to thank everyone for sending in their entries. Seriously, I figured we'd be lucky to get 10 responses, but
Truly, it was an excellent and surprising response from our listeners out there. We even heard from overseas.
Yep. So yeah, thanks to everyone who responded. But I did pick out a winner.
Well, you know, Jeff and I decided that since it was Milt's drink invention, that he should be the one to decide on the best name for it. So...
Well, it wasn't easy to pick one, that's for sure. But one entry just definitely stood out. So, cue up the snare drum. The winner is Sherry Northrup of Fort Collins, Colorado. Congratulations, you're our winner with the perfectly fucked up entry, Chernobyl Martini.
A Chernobyl Martini. I love it.
Again, man, there were so many good ones, but that one, it just spoke to me.
I say let's toast Sherry Northrup and her Chernobyl Martini.
Way ahead of you, bro.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Hey, you're not my future ex-wife. Did I count how many times you sang Yellow Brick Road the other night?
And Sherry, if you're listening out there, your genuinely, nearly authentic, and virtually lifelike, almost infamous Fusebox church flask is on its way.
Yeah. Please pray responsibly, Sherry. Here you go, bro.
Ah. Oh. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. To Sherry. To infinity and beyond.
To the Chernobyl Martini. To the clinking of glasses.
That hits the spot. Again.
Well, Mr. Keynes, does a Yoo-Hoo and vodka taste any different now that it's officially a Chernobyl Martini?
Well, you know, I'll let you know in 2 or 3 hours.
In 2 or 3 hours, you'll have a total meltdown.
Ugh, I saw what you did there.
Did you? Did you see what I did there?
Yeah, I saw what you did there. And on that note...
Oh, and with that, friends, we'll take our falsified documents and collection of broken promises and squeeze back under the floor mat, but not before thanking our tireless contributors, F.LeMur and Stuart Krug. And also, once again, our congratulations and thanks to Sherry Northrup for coming up with the most fitting name for Milt's drink, the Chernobyl Martini. Cheers. Thanks, as always, to the never gaslit but always talking to himself while wandering around vacant parking lots, the master of meters, Milt Keynes, for technical assistance and so forth and so on.
Yeah, pleasure was had by someone, just not me. But I'm working on it.
Yes, but also our undying thanks to you, friends, for pushing play on this edition of Fusebox. It sure would be lonely without you.
And quiet.
Surely it would. May I humbly suggest that you subscribe to this fine program and like and even flick, click, tick that little star rating thingy if you see one, as that aids us tremendously in keeping up the good fight, as they used to say. Or you can also visit the now infamous Fusebox store, located conveniently on our Facebook page at The Fusebox Show, and just click on that little Shop Now button, or equally as easy from the main domain, friends, thefuseboxshow.com. Just click the little shopping tab. As we mentioned, it's been spiffed up and organized by a team of gifted OCD sufferers. So even the categories have categories. Yes, a real treat indeed. And I have been your pay no attention to the man behind the corruption host, Mark Rose, saying until our next cartoon. You know, this really isn't too bad.
Well, I told you, man. And don't judge it till you have one. Or 7. Fusebox.